Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video, I'm going to play a little bit of 3-2 Blitz, which I don't often do, but I feel like taking a little break, so. All right, I'm black against H-Regger. Let's do Caro-Kann. Okay, they're not going to take, so we will. Oh boy, some kind of gambit? The Rasa-Studier Gambit. I don't know this one. So, I have to say I'm a little nervous, but I'm going to take. I'm going to pin. I'm going to go ahead and take. I need to get developed here. And I guess I'll go ahead and castle. Let's see, I'm going to move this knight out. If they push, I'll just take with a pawn. Not an issue here. And I'm going to bring this rook over to make room for my knight. There's a saying, a knight on f8, there is no mate. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to move my knight up here. See if they trade. They do. Perfect. Might see about bringing my bishop. Well, let's see. I was thinking about bishop back and queen up to make a battery. Well, I'm not worried about protecting this h7 square at the moment. Okay, let's bring this knight up. Kind of guard this square, this f4 square. I still like the idea of bishop back, queen up, targeting h2. I think they'd be able to recover from that because their king has an escape square. Time is pretty good, but obviously got to move faster in Blitz. Fortunately, there is a 2-second increment on this game. All right. I'm going to take that knight because they can't take back. All right. I feel like I'm okay. I don't know if they saw my bishop protecting that square. Should I start to offer to trade? Let me get back over here. Obviously, yep, they can challenge that. I should have seen that. Should have seen that. Okay, they're going to take a pawn with check. Can't avoid that. I'll move away. Okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to offer a queen trade. If they take the knight first, I'm going to ignore that temporarily. Go here. need to be careful. Okay, take. Ooh. Take or check. I'm going to trade down, get that rook, and then I'm going to take their bishop. Okay, opponent resigns. So yeah, I think it was all about that one move where they took my knight, not realizing my bishop was guarding that square, so they were down a piece. Let's hit game review. All right, 88%, pretty decent. Looking at my chart here, actually that's a pretty nice movement for black there. Obviously we can see the blunder that white made. Looks like I gave back a little bit of advantage here, you know, right near the end of the game. Nothing too bad. No blunders, misses, or mistakes, but obviously a few inaccuracies, which kind of gave my opponent a glimmer of hope. So let's see if there's a takeaway from this game. I'm going to head over to the analysis board. And pretty happy with this opening. Took the gambit. I'm not sure what the benefit, and obviously my opponent maybe didn't play the gambit properly. Okay, so that was an inaccuracy there. Obviously I wanted to get rid of that relatively quickly just because I saw there was going to be some kind of potential moves on my uncastled king. So I was a little nervous about this. So I can't say I was disappointed in taking that. But obviously if taking it's an inaccuracy, then probably develop more is probably pretty good. Often with these Caro-Kanns, after you move the bishop outside of the pawn chain, pushing e6 is pretty common. So I can see some logic to e6. I can see logic to knight f6. Top moves, knight f6, and e6 is number 3 in the list. So I should have calmed down a little bit and realized that, yeah, there are some relatively common good moves in the Caro-Kann. Shouldn't have been worried about this knight making a move in the short term. Knight d7 was the other one. Develops the knight out here. So sometimes queen c7 is often a considered move, kind of guarding this f4 square from their bishop coming out. But all right, all those better moves make sense to me. And I think we're doing pretty good here. Okay, that's an inaccuracy. It turned out to be an unnecessary move on my part for sure, bringing that knight to f8. That's also relatively common in certain Caro-Kann positions. And it is at least common enough that it is a saying, knight on f8, there is no mate. I didn't make that up. But it's an inaccuracy here. Again, seems relatively unnecessary. And I could have gone ahead and moved knight d5, challenging this bishop. It would have either had to have taken or moved because I'd have 2 attackers on it. So knight d5 is a potential move. Knight d5 is the 3rd best move, but actually the top 3 moves are all relatively similar here. Knight d5 is pretty good. Queen b6, bringing the queen out to this square here. That's another common theme, which I kind of forgot about. So queen b6 obviously targets that b2 pawn up there, which is undefended. So, all right, seems pretty reasonable. And yeah, and then my opponent blundered. Interesting. Taking with the knight wasn't the best move, so I'm assuming taking with the bishop must have been better. I could have done an intermezzo, by the way, and taken this rook with a check just to help simplify the piece. And in fact, rook takes e1 check is the best move, but it's followed by a close second to knight takes f4, which is what I ended up doing. So even though I get the thumbs up that it's a good move, it really was just just shy of being the best move. Oh wait, it's going back and forth. Sometimes knight takes e4 is the best. Rook takes e1 is the best. So knight takes f4 is now the best again. So yeah, so the engine obviously is a computer, and it kind of goes through. The more time you give it, it'll reevaluate and reevaluate and reevaluate. So now knight takes f4 is the best move out of the line. If we do rook takes e1 first, obviously that just trades down pieces. They have to respond. What are they going to respond with? It really doesn't matter in this situation, because as soon as they take, the bishop is going to be lost. And yeah, so knight takes, and then start to just trade down. Yeah, I was a little annoyed. I kind of knew this was coming, but yeah, but felt it was okay. Well, they didn't like that move there. I guess that was pretty passive, pretty defensive. Best move is queen d6. Yep, get the queen up here. That makes sense, right? Yeah, queen d6. That double, yeah, that battery that I was talking about at the beginning of the game. I just kind of forgot about it, and obviously opens up this pawn up here. The good thing about the queen being on d6 is it also guards this square. So if white were to take my knight, we can't have a back rank mate. Of course, I'd also have an escape square by then. So yeah, queen d6 just gives me a lot more options for attack and still defending that particular square. All right, that was a pretty good game. Quick video, and I have to go back to work. Take care.